Greetings. This month I wanted to talk to you about hiring. And hiring is obviously pretty important. We depend on our employees to be able to deliver the products and services we sell. Far too often, I feel like many business owners kind of mess up hiring. So first of all, this is a job for the remote paralegal. What's relevant here is, first, I think a job application is nowadays, with so many people applying for jobs as business owners, we need to do a better job of actually using the application process also as part of the screening process. So first, just looking at this job description, we kind of describe our business, and then we say, please no phone calls or emails about this position. That's a great line. As soon as someone calls or emails you about it, you know that they don't know how to follow directions, and you know they're not going to be a great employee for you. So I highly recommend that, just to eliminate those folks who don't want to read. The next thing is using this link to register or apply, or whatever the case might be. And if you can see a click here, this takes me just to a simple Google form as soon as this loads. And so what I like about this is that it requires the job applicants to take another step in the process. It makes them do something else to express their interest in the job. Also, it's going to help you as the business owner organize the applicants in a way that makes sense. And this is what I mean by making sense. Once you have somebody complete a Google form, what happens is that their name, their email, their phone numbers, and their questions, the answers to their questions, are actually entered into this Google Sheet. And what makes this incredibly powerful is that we're able to go through and look, I just randomly picked colors and assigned colors to the different applicants. The people who I could immediately reject, I was able to code as red. The people I liked were green. The people who were like, they might work, are all yellow. And so you can see that I've kind of used this as a good way. So again, this is just another thing that makes your job easier. The data entry part of tracking all these resumes and tracking this and that is really easy once you use the form. So I highly recommend Google Forms again, or really any sort of form engine, to make it easy for you to track the applicants. But now let's go back over to the application and see what we're trying to do. So first of all, we've got these position responsibilities, and this took a lot of time to put together, in the sense that I really wanted to have a good idea of what that person would be doing. And so that gives applicants a good idea of what they can expect from the position, and obviously in turn should increase the quality of my applicants because they know what to expect. And of course we have their education, experience, and skills, and again, hey, this is the software we use. This is practically what we're going to be using. So a posting like this, I find, is going to attract higher quality applicants because they're going to be more interested in the position rather than just another paralegal spot. So again, and the position responsibilities also helps you as a business owner figure out what you actually need to hire for, right? So by listing out what you want somebody to do, it defines what job you're actually trying to hire for. In other words, you might think that you need a controller or a CFO, but once you list out the responsibilities, if it's reconciling bank accounts, you might actually need a bookkeeper. Here, I was able to list them out and look at everything that's going on here and realize that I don't really need to hire another attorney. I needed to hire a paralegal. So that was how this portion helped me. But again, I think writing a job description and putting the application out there, it starts with what are you trying to delegate, and you work backwards from there in terms of what is the job description, how much am I willing to pay for this, what is the position going to be, all those sorts of questions. It starts with this responsibilities. Next, I want to talk a little bit about some of these form questions. Obviously, some pretty straightforward ones, right? Desired salary range. You'd be surprised at how many people put a number outside this range. And to me, it was an indication that maybe they hadn't read, or was an indication that if they got this job, they weren't going to be happy because they were looking to make $50 an hour. Okay, well, that's an easy way to eliminate something. Same thing with the number of hours you'd like to work per week. When I originally posted this, I needed 5 to 10 hours a week. Well, that's changed, by the way, since then. And it's a good thing. But I had some people putting in here number of hours you'd like to work per week, full time. 40 hours a week. Well, here I am. I'm looking for somebody to 5 to 10 hours a week, and you're telling me full time. And now the problem that we're going to have with that is I know that you're going to be looking for something else to fill those 30 hours a week when I just want somebody who's focused on working with this business. Here is just, I'm asking some of the software you have experience with. We're obviously built on a lot of software, and I really just wanted to have a few questions about what was going on. And then I think the next part of this, the please link to your resume, this was actually my favorite question of this entire process. And the reason I liked it is I wanted to test people's tech skills. Again, we're a paperless and remote law firm. You need to have some basic tech skills in order to work here, in order to just do this job. So I'd say that about a third of the people that applied that made it to this point actually messed this up in some way. Some people said, I'll email it later. They were automatically a red flag. Some people tried to drag and drop an answer in here. Well, it's not a file upload field. It's a text box. So I actually didn't even get their resume. So you failed that tech test. Other people sent me links to Dropbox where the attachment was already marked as private. So they lost a point, but still getting closer. But anyway, like I said, it eliminated a third of the folks just off the bat, just in the application process. So I think what's interesting about this whole process is that it really helped me cut down on 29 responses. I was able to narrow that down to about only half the people actually submitted the application in a process that I was happy with. Right, so all of a sudden, just in the application process, I'm down from 29 applicants to 15, just because 15 didn't follow directions. From there, what I did was I issued a test to them. I gave them some instructions straight out of our policy manual, and I gave them a couple of basically tasks that I would expect them to do, and said, hey, can you do this based on these instructions? Out of those 15, another half of those messed that up. So before I even got to the interview stage, and before I really even started digging into resumes, I had already narrowed the field down to about 7 or 8 folks. And from there, I was able to look at the resumes, decide who I wanted, interviewed 3 to 4 people, and then from there made a decision. So this, like I said, is the next time you need to do a hiring process, start out with the position responsibilities to figure out what it is you want to try to fill. Move on from there, build some tests into your application process, make it specific to your business to see if they have the skills you're going to need, and work people through an application process that prevents you from having to look at 29 resumes and decide from there. So thanks so much for listening today. If you have any questions, schedule a consult. I'll be happy to go over it with you.